Hey, welcome back to Anarium. My name's Sam. I'm your monster daddy. I'm the guy in the driver's seat. Luckily for you, I've been paying attention. This is my world, Anarium, that I made over the course of many years with friends and family. It's been given life by Michael Sands, Monster of the Week. This particular story, originally written by Mike Mignola. Got to give mad shout-outs to the man, the myth, the legend. Hellboy was a very, very big influence for the Anarium world that I bring you to weekly. So hopefully I can do it justice, and if all these episodes disappear, it's probably due to a cease and desist. It's not exact, but it's pretty close. With me, I have four gentlemen. I have this person here to my right. Hey, it's Rick. What up, bro? So who are you in this game? He'll get sick, like he can still die a natural death. Not immortal, but looks young. Technically, they don't die from age. They crush themselves to death. Okay, moving on to happier times. Who is... Just can't shed my face quick enough. Who is this beautiful mustachioed man who is in Wisconsin? My Nordic friend. Who are you and who do you play? And the current preschool teacher to all these children that are on this mission with him. I'm kidding. I love you all. And Faraway Rob. Who are you? Who do you play? What do you do? Good. Short, concise. On that note, we have just left the general store where you got to spend some time with Emmy Pierce. She kind of gave you some history on the area and expressed some concern for the agent that you're here looking for, Tom Farrell. She pointed you in the direction of Cora Phillips, a young woman that you at least know recently has been using we'll call it a spell, but that's not quite right, a witch ball to take out some frustrations on other people in the town. You don't actually have to do that anymore, remember? Your last level up, you took the ability to hone in on a person or place. You specifically took it so we didn't have to do that. If that's something that you're interested. Ouch. Oh. All right. Fair enough. Legitimately, I feel like they're all making the same face, like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they just said that." I don't know who it is, but I feel like calling him out on our little podcast might be a negative. Okay, so Orpheus, we will catch up to you because our boys are going to go to Cora Phillips's house. You arrive. It is, if you guys would like to have a conversation on the way, now's the time. Anything pressing, concerns, things that you may have learned from Emmy that you want to talk about or bring up? I did not. It was a course of years. If you were reading between the lines, you would see the words breeding stock. Yes. Yes. The granddaughter was cursed by Cora Phillips. Well, she got hit by a witch ball. Yep, she gave you an address. She would point you in that direction since you're here to help Tom. Well, he left and came back, so clearly it didn't go poorly. True. As you arrive at the house, it is another old, dilapidated shack style home. There's no power lines running to this place. You are back far enough into this wooded area that what's out here is mostly superstition and old time beliefs. That doesn't make them wrong. It just means that technology in the modern era hasn't quite touched this region as much as it could have. You arrive. What would you guys like to do? There's no answer, but the door opens. You hear a faint buzzing noise coming from inside. It sounds almost like an insect. This shack is small enough that I would grant you that. There is no human here, but your empathic abilities pick up on something that is very dark, very angry, but very small. There is also no heartbeat. There is nothing being masked here, Marcy. If you guys would like to enter the home and look around, you can roll to investigate a mystery or if anything you have on your mind. Okay, go for it. You guys are all there. All right, roll to investigate your mysteries. All right, so I got experience over here for Alex, and I've got 2 questions inside. What are you guys looking for? Well, what are you hunting for with this investigation? You do. You got 4 questions. Sorry, 2 each is how I meant to say that. It came 4 questions. What are you guys hunting for? What are you looking for? Oh, so you're going to hone in on the loud buzzing noise. Okay. So it's actually coming from under. I did. I figured. I mean, I wouldn't have made it obvious if I didn't want you guys to look for it. It's actually coming from underneath the floorboards. I assume you tear into the floorboards. I mean, they're already loose. Someone is using it as storage. What you find inside. What? No, you're not. Because what you find inside is a small shoebox filled with witch balls and a half a wine bottle. The top has been broken, but a large cork has been stuck in the hole that was there. And inside this bottle is almost like a large. The best I can equate it to is like a June bug. But where its normal little face would be, it's just like a little hole filled with razor sharp teeth, bright red eyes, and you can tell it's cursing at you in a language that you may not understand. This is a witch's familiar that has been put in a bottle. I mean, if you want to give me a weird roll, I can tell you if you have any experience with witches' familiars. You've had some friends and enemies who were witches over the course of the years. You would have some idea of what this is and how it works. The idea being that when you make a deal with the devil or a thing that is a devil, it gives you this familiar, which is something that you can use to draw power from. It can guide you in learning new spells when it thinks you're ready for them. Generally, it is an intelligent creature who is there to pull you further into the depths of depravity, assuming that's the direction you want to go in. I don't want to religionist against witches. They're not all bad. Just some of them. Some of them. I mean, come on. Let me be fair. If you were to kill her familiar, whatever she is in the middle of doing, it could have drastically bad outcome. If you guys want to risk it, that's fine. I'm not guiding you one way or another, but with a 10, I feel that's knowledge that you would be aware of. So if she's like flying as a bird 100 miles in the air, she's going to turn back into a human and fall from the fucking sky. You guys aren't going to get to see it. It's just going to happen out there somewhere. Most of it. It does not have a ton of room to move around in there. Like its wings can flutter a little bit. It's like literally looking out at you, like flipping you the bird and going, fuck off, I fucking hate you, fuck you, I hate you, fuck you. It's a small yard, maybe a vegetable garden, not like greatly taken care of. Lots of trees up in Appalachia. It also looks at you and flips you multiple birds and then just goes, fuck you, I hate you, fuck you, you're an asshole, I hate you. Don't give me a minute, I hate you, put me down. Inside your mom. Ah! I mean, I guess you can. Yeah, I guess. It calms down in the bottle and just calmly looks at you and says, it looks at you and calmly says, I hate you. Guys have 3 more questions. Would you like to continue to investigate the cabin? You do. No, actually, just a conversation with that little demon man. No, actually, it looks just like a little lived-in shack. There's no signs of violence. It's fairly well picked up after. It's not trashed in any way. It's not a rich home, but it is lived in and cared for. Are you walking through the house as you ask this question? Um, as you open a door, you see a woman's skin, lying on a bed, like she took it off to go do something. Where a woman's skin. That answers that question, though, right? As if something had happened here. Yeah, that's what you found. I mean, it's basically. Marcellus, you have 2 questions. Is there anything that you would like to kind of poke around? Oh, that's true. The weird floppy skin. Nothing. That's really sweet. That's really well thought out, though. I like that. Um. Well. You do have that option. There are magic rules that you can look into. He rolled a 3, which means he got 5. He got some experience. He's getting there. You guys still have a question though? The window next to the bed is open. One could assume she went out that way, as the front door was closed when you got here. I didn't know how else to answer that question. I mean, you guys. I mean, Marcellus has magic. If he would like to try to use it, he can. You can always use the excuse that it's blood magic, depending on what it is. It's also dangerous and slightly illegal, but you can say it, and they'll just think you're edgy. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It can. When you first came in, it was spouting off curses in another language that didn't do much because they really can't. But it can speak English if you want it to. Dirty mouth. Um, Marcellus, I will give you. No, I will give you one more question, as your last one was kind of she went out the window. I'm going to give you another one. As clearly I didn't have deeper meaning behind anything. That was clearly she shapeshifted into something, left her skin behind, and will come back later. Okay. Okay. Give me a weird roll. And you have no real glitches. It you make the trap. And now you guys just sit and wait, right? As we cut to Orpheus in the coal mines. Hey, Orpheus, it's real dark in here. It took you some time, but you did. I was getting real low. It's you found a vent because most coal mines have vents in them, generally naturally forming. Using some of your more magical abilities, your ability to teleport, you manage to get yourself down into one of the old main ways inside this coal mine. It is pitch black down there. All you can hear are the sounds of writhing bodies, whispering, and a stench. A stench of death and cooked meat that if you paid real close attention to, would probably know is human. Yes, there's a ton of magic down here. At this moment, none of them have noticed you're there, as you are not a traditional human. They are all kind of half asleep, lounging lackadaisical. No one's noticed you're here. I'm gonna need you to make a charm roll. Yeah. Oh, yeah, what you get to do. All right, so what did, so you get experience. What's advanced magic do? You know she's coming. But you can sense that she is on her way here, and the trap is well made enough, even as a witch, she's not. Okay. I would hope, but you never know. So down in the coal mine, you have suddenly awoken every witch that's down there. And it is an uproar of moans and groans and some fresh meat. Orpheus. I at least thought you might have tried to have a conversation, but okay. Oops, my bad. This isn't where I parked my car. You show up at the house. Do you want to tell your friends what you discovered, or just leave it at that? Which is which? Uh, you guys end up having to wait for about 3 hours for Cora to come back. None of you are like watching the skin, but if you had been, you would have seen a raccoon crawl in through the window, crawl into the mouth of the skin, and then slowly start to fill out said skin as she lied on the bed. Some bones cracking, some less than lovely sounds. You hear her stand in her room, and she says, I wasn't expecting guests, I'm sorry. She opens the door. She has put on a shift of sorts, and she is clothed. She is an attractive young woman. She stands before you with a look of, oh shit, they caught me on her face, but not in a I'm going to murder you all because of it look. No, she is not. Moving on from inside jokes from old D&D campaigns. Oh, you guys are... All right, so do you have questions for Cora Phillips? Not, oh, these assholes, I've got to murder them. Yeah. Yeah, go for it. She is uncomfortable with you as you are four dudes standing in her home and she's wearing next to nothing. She is aware that you guys know she's a witch, and some people in this area, not knowing who you are, would probably kill her on sight. She's very uncomfortable with this situation. We're not here to help. We're here to kick your ass. All right. She's wearing her skin. She stands there waiting for whatever you guys are going to do. Who's going to make the first move? She does point at the familiar and say, you need to be careful with that. Made a deal with Tom, he'd stay in the bottle. Don't let it out. Help you fellas? Yeah, I know where it went. Ahead of yourself. Tom's daddy went missing. Back. Threw a witch ball at Effie because she's a bitch, and partially because I thought they might. Probably went to get his daddy back. Because it's his daddy. And sure, his daddy might not never been worth no good, but he don't deserve to be up there with the crooked man. Yeah. And she walks over to a wall where there's actually a map hanging, conveniently, because I'm the GM and I said so. Apwis! Nitpicks only matter when I say so. Thank you, Bricky. She points. She's like, well, if you follow one of these trails back up, you're going to pass over the coal fields, which most people avoid due to the whispers. And then shortly thereafter, you'll find yourself up in the area known as Sixpence. That's Ezra Chilk's area. He is the devil that owns most of our souls. He was a shitty human being, from what I understand. He sided with the British in the Revolutionary War, and then caused infighting and fights with the natives so he could get that land for about a sixpence. Build himself a big old fancy house up there, but I wouldn't go to that house. If you're looking for Tom, the likelihood you're going to need to go to Father Watkins' church, the Church of the Prodigal Son. It's in the sixpence, but most likely he wanted to bury his daddy. Yeah. Well, eventually people figured out he was war profiteering, and they hung him. And apparently some devil demon thing decided to put a devil in him. His body came back. Neck still broke. His face still blue and puffy. You can hear him walking. He's not good at it. Sometimes he floats above the ground with the noose still round his neck that took his life. He offers you stuff, promises you power and friendships. Things will be better. At the time, you think it's a great idea, and then you find yourself 2 years later with an angry bug in your floor and not much to show for it. Running around scavenging in trash cans as a raccoon. You don't even have to do that. Just as a person to a person, yes, she is telling you everything. On some level, yes. This is something that started off when her husband died, when her children didn't live beyond certain age. She just found herself sad and alone, and the crooked man approached her and made her a deal. And now she's a witch and doesn't have a whole lot to her name or her ability, so she uses it. It's roughly in this area, but I can take you there. I owe Tom that. I mean, if he's still there. Hey, eventually we gonna have to go on foot. That's not a problem for you fancier folk. Mind you, one of you is a 5'10" Frenchman wearing old Frenchman gear, and I assume you're in a tailored suit. That would require me to try. That would be much obliged. It's kind of like having a bear trap hanging over you. I understand why you done it, though. Most witches in these parts would have killed y'all for trying. Neither here nor there. I didn't. I think that's what meant. All right. I assume you guys are going to collect your things, and you are going to head out in the direction of the sixpence. Now, Orpheus, I'm going to need you to make an act under pressure roll. It's still good. Okay. So, yes, you can still hear those witches croning your name from down in the coal mines, But at this point, you're like literally shrugging it off. It's just like, yep, they're down there, but if they could do something, they would have. But you can hear them. Orpheus, come back, Orpheus, come on. Want to know when I'm going to get my newspaper? Got some popsicles. Poor Seth MacFarlane comes after us. Move on. All right, Rob. In hearing these voices and knowing that they're there, and you're kind of going directly above where they are, how are you feeling right now? You're keeping your cool. It's nope. I've got my dudes with me. I'm not alone. I'm not freaking out. Don't go down there. Don't go down there. She actually walks up and grabs you by what she thinks is the collar of your shirt and says they can whisper to you all they want, but you can't go down there. You can't face them. There's too many. Too many. They will overrun you. You will get killed. They don't come out. They're stuck down there. Every once in a while, one or two might get out, but that takes power. That takes energy. They're trapped down in that coal mine. Them Roanoke witches ain't no joke. You go down there, they will tear you apart and eat you. Those of you that they can't keep for breeding stock. She, she lets go of you, Orpheus, and she looks you in what she thinks is the eyes. It's probably staring right to your giant swampy tits. But yeah, stares into what she thinks is your eyes. I don't know what any of that means, and I don't want to. Thank you for playing. Thanks. And she looks at you and she says, "There are more down there than I know. There's too many. It's inbreeding. It's cannibalism. They eat their own. Only the strongest survive, and what's down there ain't no joke." I can hear him too. They got to deal with the crooked man. Don't work together, but He helps keep him fed. You don't want to go down there. You'll die. I may not know you much, sir, and you may not appreciate my concern. I may have done a lot of bad things, but you guys are looking for Tom. You can't be all bad. It's not a good idea. It's a bad call. And there ain't no way to get in easy. Or a bat. What? Um, she is surprised and taken aback, but by no means is she defensive. I mean, she is a witch in the Appalachians. This is probably not the weirdest thing she's ever seen. And you are in a much more quiet setting. No one else is going to see you here. Iron works best. Magic works best. And then you flick your lighter. Oh, sorry. Sorry, please do that again. I cut you off. Sorry. You've done magic in the past. Both. Both works. Iron works. Magic versus magic is generally better. All right. What? Okay, so you literally just disappear and leave everyone behind to go back. Okay. All right. You are standing in the gear shop. The gentleman there looks at you and says, "Yep, what you need." You'll spend 2 to buy enough iron 9mm or whatever gauge rounds you need for everyone to have iron bullets for the coming fight, if there is one. With 1 gear point, you buy enough of a certain type of round to last you the rest of the session. So, like, if you were fighting werewolves and you went, "Hey, I need to buy silver bullets," 1 gear point buys you enough silver bullets to realistically use it for the rest of the session. Does that make sense? You spent 2 because you bought enough information. You bought enough ammo for everyone, so it cost you 2 gear points. That is not how this works at all. I mean, she like super confused gestures to like her couch and like her dining room chairs and like shrugs. You guys haven't actually left yet? Like no one ever made that motion to leave. Well, we can catch up and you guys are walking in the woods headed toward the Sixpence. We can catch that up quick. He's still sitting on the couch. Maybe we should have went with them, but he did tell us to go home. I mean, most of you guys have the weaponry to accomplish what you need. Those rounds is a weakness against the witches, so they do 1 extra damage as per the weakness rules in the monsters playbook. So you are using something that they are weak against. I think this is the first time someone has ever gotten into a fight and Nick is not excited about it, or the person that did it. Oh, have more faith in me than that. Trust your GM. Trust your GM. We'll get there, all right? You guys approach what appears to be a large open field, but sitting on top of these fields is old mining equipment that's old, it's rusted, it's grown through. You're gonna throw that pig and he's gonna start eating it and it's gonna make a bunch of noise. I just want you to know that I love you, but it's oh chuh, go Buckley. You hit this field. And standing in the middle of this field is a blonde woman with an old, busted up, bony horse. She looks at y'all and she smiles. And she goes, well, as I understand it, y'all are the troublemakers. My name is Effie Cobb, and the Crooked Man don't like the road you're on. It's this guy. This is the guy that decided, it's this guy, get him. That's Effie Cobb. He works very closely with the Crooked Man. Don't need to whisper, child. I'm right here. Oh, the Crooked Man. Okay, nope, I get it. We got it. No, Cameron, cut out all of our confusion and just leave it at that, and then we'll go forward. All right, so she's standing in the field. It is a fully nude blonde woman with an old, dilapidated horse. If y'all want your boy, you're going to have to go further. He's up at Watkins' place. We can't get to him there, but I've been riding his father here pretty hard for the last 2 weeks. He ain't much left of him. All right. I would say roll for initiative, but that's not how this game works. All right, you do 3, right? So it's 4, right? She takes that hit, and literally, like, it hits her, and she just straightens herself back out again and looks at you and goes, "Now, child, is that the way to have a civilized conversation?" You guys whisper a lot. Alex, now's not the time for semantics. She starts to walk towards you. She leaves as she's guiding the horse. And she's like, "Y'all can take him. He ain't worth much. Old Farrell here drank most his life. His soul ain't worth trying to corrupt. You can have him. Take the bridle off. His body'll fall. Old Tom didn't quite talk it out of me, so you guys can have him. We're more concerned about the church at this point. And as for what's underneath my feet, you guys keep pushing. They'll come out. I ain't afraid to open the door a little bit." It literally turns into a skeleton of a man with wild hair who looks at you, says thank you, and falls to the ground. Yes. He is alive. He just falls to the ground. The church is still a ways off. You have a ways to go before you get there. If you want to make a mad dash, you might be able to make it, but no, you cannot see it from here. Look in the right direction. Boo. That works too. You need to make a weird roll because you are technically in combat and carrying someone. Yep. Oh, all right. So are you going further into the distance or are you going back to your friends? Because either way, you succeed. He has not led you astray yet. You're not dead. All right, you go forward. She attempts to reach out and hit you, but you manage to teleport just in time. You are. I mean, Alex has to run across that field like a schmo. Okay. All right. Uh, well, So what do you guys want to do? You have your newbies in a safe place. They can always come back and help if they want. You don't have to follow orders. You guys said no. Yep. Okay, give it a try. Give me a weird roll. As he rolls a 2. Ooh, mark experience. As your spell reaches out to hit her, she actually takes flight. Looks down at the two of you and says, "Oh, no, no, no. I wouldn't worry about me. I'd worry about them." As she points to the ground. And numerous hands start to break through the earth. You want to fight? I'm going to give you one, but that don't mean it going to be me. She flies off as 4 of the Roanoke witches come up from under the ground. These things have scarred, molty skin. It's falling off, various gangrenous lesions on their body. Some of them only have one eye, others have multiple eyes that don't seem to open all the way. Multiple. They are not. They are witches. They are horribly inbred witches. Yep. He's got to fight his way through them to be next to him. They are literally as far apart as they can be. All right. The witches get themselves out of the ground and they start booking it towards you two. The two main fighters I have in the field, Orpheus and Marcellus. Split up, 2 and 2. Your team lead. All right, the witches are quickly closing ground. What would you guys like to do? Okay, Marcellus, Orpheus, you two are already there. He has teleported in next to you, Marcellus. That is his turn this round. Marcellus, what would you want to do? You are a dire wolf, and you are pissed off, and there are things in front of you. Across the expanse of this field, it wouldn't take you much to get to them and make an attack. All right, how much damage is that? Obviously, roll to kick some ass, too. Oh, that's experience, isn't it? Oh, okay. Okay, all right. What are we doing? Okay, you destroy this witch. Like you tell me, how does this look? The spell she was starting to make for you instantly dies in her hands as her body crumbles. Orpheus, what do you do? I mean, I would say that she's close enough. If you would like to roll to kick some ass, you can do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, that'll hit. Okay. You hit her solid in the chest as she blasts a green energy at you. It will do 3 damage. Before she is, I am telling you what she is doing. You tell me how much you're taking. That is 0. Okay. Yes. Someday. That is not what happened, but you can tell him whatever you want, I guess. All right. Um, Mark, we are back at the top of the turn order. What would you like to do? There are 2 more witches. Yes. He did not. There were 4 total. You killed one. He shot one, and there are 2 more. Okay, give me a roll. Kick some ass or weird, whatever it is your mystical weapon does. All right, that also gets the extra effect. That is under the basic moves list. I think you would have to check in the book. Oh yeah, he's a type of holy magic. Yeah, we'll go with that. You cut into her and she crumbles. Marcellus. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Yeah, I'm all right with that. That's good. That's good character. Marcellus, it's your turn. Yes. Yep. You've got some distance you've got to travel. Okay. Give me a kick some ass roll. What are you doing? All right. You turn, you jump onto her, she turns around, she's trying to get magic going. As you land on her, the spell goes off, and that is 3 damage to you if you take it, but she will die. You're welcome. Orpheus, your last turn, what do you do? As you raise the shotgun to hit her, she panics, dives to the ground, and starts digging her way back down to the coal mines. And that is where we will leave this session with your horrible snake eyes. I love you guys.